What's up everyone? So if you're a student or you're in NS about to be a student, then this video is for you. So, how to reduce exam stress. I'm a mathematics student from the Nanyang Technological University of Singapore, and as a math major, we usually have less presentation and more like written examinations. So, like some of my friends, they already have end their SEM, but for me, my SEM is still like a long way to go. Okay, so today I'm going to share with you some tips, some real tips to reduce stress for exams. Okay, so the most important, right, I think is to always give a bit of effort throughout the SEM. I don't mean like you have to mark every day and be damn hardcore throughout the SEM, but I think you should give like a minimal effort, like maybe do a tutorials or like understand the materials that you have. Like I got this friend, right, who actually don't do tutorials at all, but he do better than any of us. It's because he understands the materials very well, and like I think during the lecture he really pays attention and make sure he understands the stuff. And like I think he just really able to visualize stuff and get the intuitive idea very quickly. Okay, so if you're someone that like picks up the materials very fast, then yeah, that's good. That's a good thing. Okay, so on the flip side, I also got friends that don't really do the tutorial, don't even do at all, despite struggling with the content. So like for them, right, their midterm results weren't so ideal, and like that resulted in them like feeling very demoralized and like feel like they don't really want to study anymore. But you see, this is like a vicious cycle, because eventually when the finals come up, you become even more stressed, and like you will, because you need to do better than like you did for midterms to pull up your overall results. So with that, right, you feel even more stressed, and then like you feel very, and someone with the demoralization from the midterm, right, it really adds up. It makes you feel like shit. And then let's say you do badly for the finals and you get a lousy GPA, it's just going to keep going on to the rest of your SEM. So I think it's very important that like if you struggle with the materials during the SEM, right, you must like really go and don't create the backlog of like pushing it behind and behind. Yeah, so try to do your tutorials like on time. So as for me, right, honestly I don't do every single day, but like I try to at least like get my lectures and tutorials done, so at least like I can roughly get the idea of the content or the materials. So when the exam period comes, right, the revision period comes, I won't really have to like go and cram everything together, because when I look through a tutorial or the lecture notes, right, I already roughly got like the idea before, so it's like it clicks very fast. Compared to like if you don't really get it at all, then after that you try to cram it in the last minute, then you will struggle to get everything in, because there's really a lot of stuff when you come to the finals. When all the materials start coming in, it's really a lot of stuff to remember. So don't wait until the last minute to cram everything in. Okay, so another thing, right, is revision strategies. So maybe the previous one, right, it's already too late for some of us, because like the SEM is already over for uni students, and like now we're approaching the finals. So for the next one, right, it's more of like revision tips. So I think it's very important that like you know how to strategize for your exams, like how to revise for your exams. Like I realize that most of us mindlessly just study for the test, like all the content, all the tutorials, without like strategizing or prioritizing like what to revise. So one example is, let's say you have a midterms testing the first half of the SEM, then like for your finals revision, right, you shouldn't be so hardcore revising the first half of the SEM anymore. You should like spend more energy like on the second half of the SEM compared to the first half. Okay, so I'm not saying you should forego the first half lah, but just to prioritize your time a little better. Like some of the better strategies before you start planning how you want to revise, right, is to maybe you can check out the past year papers if your prof provide you past year paper, and you can check out like the format of the paper and how they set the paper if it's the same professor. So that way you can actually like get an idea of what your paper will be like, and you can study and plan your revision accordingly. Yeah, so another strategy, like I say, is to look at your midterm and see what has been already tested, and then like you try to see what they haven't tested from the first half, and you put more priority onto that also during your revision. So I think such strategies can help to shape your revision better, and it helps you to like focus on things that can potentially come out, like compared to like you having to cram everything in, you know. Okay, but disclaimer though, I don't mean like you don't study those stuff that might not come out, but more like you roughly get the idea of them, but I think you put more priority into things that might potentially come out. So if you have no time, right, you just revise stuff that will potentially come out. But if you got the extra time, then you try to look at stuff that will come out, you know, stuff like that. That's prioritizing basically. Next one, right, is to learn from your mistakes. So I realized that a lot of time when I practice, right, sometimes I can do very well, because I realize that I'm always practicing the questions I already know. Then the tough questions I'll end up skipping them or like referring to them again. So like end up like I don't really learn from my mistakes. I mean, yeah, you feel satisfied from getting everything correct when you practice lah, but honestly it don't really help your exam, because like at the end of the day they might test stuff that you like still haven't get the hang of it, and then that's where you die lah. So I told myself I'd rather feel lousier during the practice than during the exam itself. Okay, so one method I use, right, is to circle the question every time I struggle with the question or I got it wrong during the semester whenever I do the tutorial. So when it comes to exam period, and let's say I have no time to do the tutorial questions here after revisiting the lecture notes, I'll just do the circle questions because I already indicated what question I struggle with. So in that case, right, so those questions I get it correct, I don't practice again unless I got the extra time to. So I only practice the questions that I struggle with so that I can revisit them before the exam, because you never know if it will come out. I'll say that the practice, sometimes I get very frustrated because all the questions I struggled before so like I might not know how to do them or I'll find it very difficult. But okay lah, I rather feel frustrated during the practice than during the exam lah. Let's be honest. Don't you want that also? So one last tip I'll give, right, is to have a timetable, a revision timetable. Okay, I know like a lot of people say like have a revision timetable, like it's overused lah. Everyone's saying the same thing. Personally, I also have a timetable, and I realized how much time I've wasted like mindlessly scrolling through social media after like starting to have a timetable. Okay, so I actually use the Elon Musk strategy of dividing my time into 5-minute block. So like I'll plan my time according to like 5 minutes kind of thing. So usually I plan my timetable the night before. So usually by the time like morning comes, I already know what I need to do for the day. Like after I have a timetable, I can actually see how much time I waste doing stupid shit and all that. Like okay, if you have a timetable, you know what I mean. Okay lah, but at the end of the day, I'm still a normal human being lah, so I still might detour a bit from the schedule. Like maybe I will end up scrolling TikTok a bit longer than I'm supposed to. But actually with the timetable, right, I'll keep reminding myself, hey shit, I'm behind schedule, I need to go and do work again. Okay, so with the timetable, I realized that I get a lot more done compared to not having a timetable, like which is last sem lah. So with that, get a timetable, man, do a timetable. Okay, so that's all for all the real tips I can give you. At least that's all I can think of now. I mean, the rest, if you hear, right, it's all the same lah. Like sleep early, check your work thoroughly before you submit the paper. So like all that, I don't think I would tell you that because yeah, those kind of stuff you already know. But like all these stuff that I say, maybe some of you already know, but most of them is come from experience, and I feel like some people don't. I feel like some people need this. Okay, so with that, right, I wish everyone all the best for your examinations, and I hope everybody do well. Like one of my favorite profs said, you don't need to do the best, but you just need to do better than your friends. So remember to share this video with only friends that is not from your course. Okay, also remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And with that, I'll see you next time.